Welcome to the Off Label Podcast, your twice weekly dose of sanity in an insane world. Look, I'm just going to skip the rundown tonight. We got the presser going on right now. We will continue live with the press conference as soon as we start.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
All right, let's hit it up unmuted.
What up, folks?
To fight
What's going on, guys?
in Ukraine. The other thing that we talked a lot about is that
I mean, I
and
can't
raised
defend
it,
any
and
of
there was-
this.
I didn't hear
Sorry.
any. I can't swear that everyone agreed because not everyone got to talk about it. But we need a new industrial policy in the West. For example, we talked about how both the EU as well as NATO has to be able to begin to build their own munition capacity, has to be able to generate their own capacity to provide for weapons and the ability to, it came as a surprise to some of us how we had fallen behind in the West in terms of the ability to construct new material, new weaponry, new everything from vehicles to weapon systems.
What?
And so one of the things that came out of this was we're going to be meeting again with a number of my colleagues, my European colleagues, is what do we do to increase the capacity of the West, particularly in Europe and Japan, to be able to generate the kind of ability to produce their own weapon systems, not just for themselves, but to be able to generate that. It's the same, it's what Russia's trying to figure out, that they went to China and they didn't get the weapons, but then they went to North Korea. But we're going to be in a position where the West is going to become the industrial base for it to be able to, the ability to have all the defensive weapons that we need. That was a discussion as well.
What the fuck?
President, I'm sure you answered on whether you would be ready to go
Thank you,
deal with
Just Rhonda.
Putin and Xi 2 or 3 years from now.
I'm ready to deal with them now and 3 years from now. Look, like I said, I'm dealing with Xi
Jennifer,
right now
How you doing?
and direct contact with him. I have no good reason to talk to Putin right now. There's not much that he is prepared to do in terms of accommodating any change in his behavior. And but there isn't any world leader I'm not prepared to deal with. I understand your generic point. Is Putin ready to talk? I'm not ready to talk to
That
Putin.
one was a little bit
unless
too much
Putin's
over
ready
the
to
edge.
change his behavior. And the idea
I don't think he would deal with Hitler pretty well right now.
Putin's got a problem. First of all, in this war that he is supposedly have won. And by the way, I think, don't hold me to the exact number, but I think that Russia had 17.3% of Ukraine that they conquered. Now it's 17.4. I mean, in terms of percentage of territory. They've not been very successful. They've caused horrible damage, loss of life, but they've also lost over 350,000 troops, military, killed or wounded. They have over 1 million people, particularly young people with technical capability, leaving Russia because they see no future there. They've got a problem. But what they do have control of is they are very good at controlling and running the public outcry that relates to how they use mechanisms to communicate with people. They lie like hell to the constituencies. They lie like hell about what's going on. And
dude, no.
And shut up, bitch. The idea that we're going to be able to fundamentally
they're leaving
change
because
Russia
they're conscripting motherfuckers for a
is
war.
not likely. But one thing for certain, if we allow Russia to succeed in Ukraine, they're not stopping in Ukraine. I recommend, I know you know this because you've written about it. Read Putin's speech after they moved in, what it was all about in Kyiv. It wasn't about just, anyway, read what his objective is.
Doing good, brother.
And
how are you?
Anyway, but so I think that I'm prepared to talk to any leader who wants to talk, including if Putin called me and wanted to talk. Last time I talked to Putin was trying to get him to work on an arms control agreement related to nuclear weapons in space. That didn't go very far. So my point is, I'm prepared to talk to anybody, but I don't see any inclination. There is an inclination on the part of the Chinese to keep in contact with me because they're not sure where this all goes. And look what's happened in Asia. We have strengthened the Asian Pacific area more than anybody else has. We just put together today, I brought on, I asked our NATO allies. Emotional damage. A group from the South Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Australia. I already mentioned Australia. And I met twice now, I think, with the 14 leaders of the Pacific Island nations. And we've slowed down what's going on there. We've slowed down China's reach. But there's a lot of work to do. This is a moving target, and I don't take it lightly. Sam from NPR.
Campbell, member of the Assembly is there objection?
With NPR. I have two questions. Earlier, you spoke about the ceasefire plan between Israel and Hamas. We're now looking at 10 months of war.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if there's anything
I just wanted to understand. I had like a sample a while back that I took, and I forgot what it was.
Course of the war. And then secondly, if I may, I wanted to ask you about your presidential campaign. I remember covering your campaign in 2020, and there was a moment where you referred to yourself as a, quote, bridge candidacy, a transition to a younger generation of leaders. I want to understand what changed.
Two things. Let's go back to when you talked about would I have changed anything that's happening with Israel and the Palestinians and the Palestinian movement. The answer is, as you recall, from the very beginning, I went to Israel, but I also got immediate contact with al-Sisi in Egypt. I met with the King of Jordan.
Wait.
I met with most
I thought
of the
he
Arab
was the
leaders
president of Mexico.
to try to get a consensus going as to what had to be done to deal with getting more aid and food and medicine into the Gaza Strip. And we pushed
I don't have
really
to say
hard.
shit. That's what I love about this
Israel
thing.
Occasionally was less than cooperative, number one. The Israeli war cabinet, I've been dealing with Israel since Golda Meir. Some of the reporters around here come here all the time have heard me say this. First time I met with Golda Meir, I sat and across from her on her desk.
Did you say
and
gold in
her
my ear?
assistant was Rabin sitting next to me. That's how far back I go.
Fucking
I know
no.
Israel well. And I
He just
support
pulled a
Israel.
quarter out of his
But
ear. Hey, I got
This
gold in
war
my ear.
cabinet is one of the most conservative
nose.
war cabinets in the history of Israel. And there's no ultimate answer other than a two-state solution here. And
All
so
I'm
what was
hearing-
able to be done in terms of the plan I put together was it would be a process
There it
for a
is.
two-state solution.
Campbell,
And
send
we
them
get
the
the
member
Arab
to settle.
nations to, particularly from Egypt all the way to Saudi
bad.
Arabia, to be in a position where they would cooperate in the
Screw it. I ain't
transition
gonna mess with it.
so that they
Jennifer,
could keep the
I'm
peace
confused.
in Gaza
I'm not pissed.
without-
I'm
without
confused.
Israeli forces staying in
I
Gaza.
don't know
The
what.
question's been
fuck
from the
he's-
beginning, what's the day after in Gaza? And the day after in Gaza has to be
I don't
the-
get it.
What's in Gaza?
The end
I
of
thought
the
it
day
was.
after has to be
That's where
no
Israel's attacking.
occupation by Israel and the
I thought it was
Strip,
Gaza.
as well as
Yeah,
the
Gaza.
ability
He
for
said
it
in
to
Gaza. I was in
access,
Gaza.
Get in and out as rapidly as you
I
can.
was
all
in
that's needed.
Gaza.
I've been disappointed that some of the things that
Look,
I
I've
put
gotten
forward
to learn a little
have
bit
not
of
succeeded
Bidenese
as well,
now.
like the port reattached. from
Actually,
Fed-
I guess I've been.
I was hopeful that
It's
would
called-
be more successful.
I guess we can call it
But
Tardanese. Can we
That's
call it
why
that?
That's
when
what she
I
said.
went to Israel.
Okay,
immediately
Tardanese.
after
I've
the
learned a little bit of
massacres occurred
Tardanese.
As at hands of Hamas, that the one thing I said to the Israelis, and I met with the war cabinet and with Bibi,
Was
don't
he
make the
in
same mistake
Gaza?
America made.
I don't
after bin
think so.
Laden.
No.
I don't know.
There's no need to occupy
Fucking-
anywhere. Go
Zelensky's
after
traveling
the
all.
people who did
By the way,
job.
when you hear
You may recall
about
I get still get
pollution
criticized for it,
and
but
climate
I was
crisis,
totally opposed to the
Zelensky went from
occupation
Ukraine
and
to
trying to
Washington to
unite
fucking
Afghanistan.
NATO in a
Once
day
once
Yeah.
we got bin Laden,
to beg for
we
money.
should have moved
So I don't want
on,
to fucking hear anything about climate
because
crisis.
it was not in
Eat
our,
my
no
fucking
one's
whole
ever gonna
cornhole.
unite that country. I've been over every inch of that, not every inch, the entirety from the poppy fields.
Dude, he
all
just
the way to the
said he
north.
beat his fucking
Don't make the same
VP.
mistake we made.
Right?
Don't think that's what you should be doing, is doubling down. We'll help you find the bad
He-
guys.
oh, he-
Sinwar and company.
He just called
And
Kamala
and
Harris
all this criticism about I wouldn't
Donald
provide
Trump.
when the weapons they need.
And then he said, I listened to my
I'm not
commander in
providing
chief.
2,000-pound bombs. They cannot be used in Gaza or any populated area without causing great human tragedy and damage.
There he goes. Look at the eyes.
But
Look at the eyes.
remember what happened when you
there,
had
he's gonna
the
start slipping
attack
again.
on Israel with rockets and ballistic missiles.
Dude, it's
I
almost
was
on a
able to
cyclical
unite the
time
Arab
center now.
nations
It is.
as well as Europe.
It is.
Nothing happened.
It's
Here in
like
about a
fucking-
minute or
Nothing got
something, he'll
hurt.
pick right back
Sent
up
an
again.
incredible lesson to what was going on from the Middle East. So there's a lot of things, in retrospect, I wish I had been able to convince the Israelis to do. But the bottom line is we have a chance now. It's time to end this war. Doesn't mean walk away from going after Sinwar and Hamas. And if you notice, you know better than most.
Because you know you're going
there
to
is a
lose and the war is going
growing
to end any damn way.
dissatisfaction on
Because
the
the
West
American
Bank
people are tired of paying for
from
that
the
shit.
Palestinians about Hamas.
He's like on a
Hamas
highball,
is not
like a
popular now.
combination of
And so,
cocaine,
There's a
heroin,
lot of
and
moving
fucking
parts. I
Percocet.
just have to keep
It's like, I haven't
moving
done
to make
it
sure
right.
that we get as much done as we can.
He's
Yeah.
With a
speedballing.
ceasefire.
Yeah,
He-
speedball.
he's
That
George Floyd.
Ceasefire and get those. And by the way,
he's Floyd.
look at the numbers in Israel. I mean, my numbers are better in Israel than they are here. But then again,
Ah.
they're better than a lot of other people
I don't
here
give a
too.
fuck.
But anyway,
Bridge candidacy in 2020. You referred to yourself as being a bridge candidate for a younger, fresher generation of Democratic leaders. And I wanted to know what changed.
what changed was the gravity of the situation I inherited in terms of the economy, our foreign policy, and domestic division.
You had no
I
wars,
think-
you cunt.
I won't put words in anybody's mouth.
Nobody was invading anybody.
Most presidential historians give me credit for having accomplished more than most
China
any
didn't
president
fuck around.
since
North
Johnson
Korea
and
calmed the
maybe
fuck
before
down.
that to get major
didn't
pieces of
do a damn
legislation
thing.
passed. And what I realized was my long time in the Senate had equipped me to have the wisdom to know how to deal with the Congress to get things done. We got more major legislation passed that no one thought would
More
happen.
what?
and I want to finish it, to get that finished. If tomorrow, if we had a circumstance where there was
that's carbon
lineup
dioxide.
and I hadn't inherited what I did.
Carbon
we just moved
oxide
things
too.
along.
Carbon dioxide.
Anyway, it's going to change.
Last question.
Haley Bull, Scripps. Or no, Josh Weingrove. I'm sorry. Was the next one. I'll do 2 more questions.
Thank you, Mr. President. Many of your colleagues, Democrats in the Hill, are watching tonight as they
It's gonna
assess
be awesome to watch
what they want to say about your candidacy. I'm wondering how you're thinking of this right now. It seems like your answer is clear, but they're watching how things go tonight, tomorrow in Michigan, next week in Texas and Nevada. Are you thinking that way about how the next week or 2 goes would inform your?
Am I using that way?
Are you thinking that way about how the next 2 weeks go? Will that affect your decision?
Did you see Mitch McConnell, by the way, just freeze today?
On running in November as the party's nominee.
I'm determined on running, but I think it's important that I
the entire nation is on high fucking alert for this kind of shit right now, and everybody's doing it.
For the longest time, it was, Biden's not prepared to sit with us unscripted. Biden's not prepared to, anyway.
You just pick people.
What I'm doing.
You were told who to
I've been
pick.
doing. I think we've done over 20 major events.
Radio stations.
From Wisconsin to North Carolina to demonstrate that I'm going out in the areas where we think we can win, where we can persuade people to move our way, or people are already there. And here, look, the other thing is,
fucking luck now,
we
sir.
have the most extensive campaign organization of anybody's had in a long, long time.
Wait, wasn't it voter
We
fraud
have
organization
over
last
1,000
time?
volunteers knocking on doors, making phone calls, making tens of thousands of phone calls. We have headquarters. I forget exactly how many. I want to cite a number and then find out I'm off. But we have.
Oh, you're off,
scores
Joe.
of
You're off.
headquarters in all the.
Well, it also
the
sounds
toss-up
incredibly
states.
fucking weird that the dude is
Organized. We're
literally
moving.
describing how
And
I
that's
fucking
awful hard to
theorized
replace
2020
in the
went
near
down.
term. And so,
Just like the start of it. He
and
gave it
here's the
the
other
breath.
Jennifer, you're not going to last the next 20
I was in the
minutes.
Senate a long time. Very proud of what I've done in the Senate. I was chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee for a long time, and I was chairman or ranking member and chairman of the Judiciary Committee. I'm going to be going down to the Johnson Library. Anyway, I'm going to be going around
Jennifer.
making the case of the things that I think we have to finish
You just said it.
and how we can't afford to lose what we've done or backslide on civil rights, civil liberties, women's rights. There's that little button we have. Control guns, not girls. I mean, the idea we're sitting around, this for communists is good as well. We're sitting around. More children
That just sounds like you're sucking
are
dick.
killed by the bullet
I'm not
than
sketch.
any other cause of death. The United States of America. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh, he
We
was
got a
right.
candidate saying, promised the NRA, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything.
Where is it?
I'm not going to do anything. You got a Supreme Court that is what you might call the most conservative court in American history.
How did we get here?
This is ridiculous. There's so much we can do still. And I'm determined to get it done.
Muffin said it. He's
It's
calming
about
down.
freedom. And
He
by
will
the way,
start getting pissed next.
I'll end this.
Muffin
Wait,
called
I'm
it.
not going to do that.
Yep.
I wish I had
it. Has to come up too.
I don't have a ding, ding, ding. I need a ding, ding, ding.
I remember I made a speech on democracy.
I mean, we've seen it too many times
Philadelphia,
not to call this
Independence
out
Hall.
like it is. It's just
And
a
I'm not being
little bit of a
critical, just
longer of a
observing.
wave.
The bulk of the press, what the hell is he talking about that for? Democracy. You did. Democracy is not an issue. Democracy is not an issue. Except the polling data showed 60% of the people knew I was right, thought I was right. I'm not asking you a question. You don't have to answer, obviously. But do you think our democracy is under siege based on this court? Do you think democracy is under siege based on Project 2025?
Oh
Do you
my
think
God.
he means what he says when he says he's going to do away with the civil service, eliminate the Department of Education, make sure, I mean,
Project 2025
We've
is a
never been
creation
here
of your
before.
own goddamn rhino
and that's the other reason
motherfuckers.
why I
The
didn't
never
say
Trumpers
hand
that
off
put
to
that
another
shit out.
generation.
They even said
I've
they
gotta
had
finish
nothing to
this
do with
job.
that motherfucker.
I've got to finish this job because there's so much at stake.
We've had some discussions over the past few days with your press secretary about the question of health exams, and you said you take a cognitive test every day in this job. Are you open to taking another physical or test before the election? Governor Whitmer of Michigan, for instance, said it wouldn't hurt to take a test.
Well, look.
Yes, he did say control
Two
guns,
things.
not girls.
One,
Which
I've
made
taken
absolutely no
3
sense with what the fuck that was being
significant
said.
and intense neurological exams by a neurologist. In each case, as recent as February.
Hold on.
And they say I'm in good shape. Okay. Although I do have a little problem with my left foot because it's not as sensitive because I broke my foot and didn't wear the boot. But I'm good. I'm tested every single day about my neurological capacity to do decisions I make every day. You talk to my staff, all of you talk to my staff. Sometimes my staff talks a lot. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think you have them telling you
Yeah,
that
because
all the
they're
major ideas
saying
we've
shit
undertaken
now.
haven't been in part initiated by me.
Yeah,
I
because the
remember
people
when
next
staff
to you are
would
really
say,
going to tell on you,
"I'm
Joe.
gonna go to South
Really
Korea."
gonna
He
tell
just
on you.
no. Can we go back to
What
the
are you
whole
doing?
point that he just
We're gonna get
actually admitted that
Japan
he sees
and
neurologists?
Korea
Wasn't there a
back
story
together
about
after
neurologists or something like
essentially having
visiting him not
hostilities
too long
toward
ago?
one another
Yeah,
since
11
the end of
times.
World War II. I'm going to move and see that we can expand it. You know, the only thing age does
Come on, they fucking
is help you
known
with,
just like we have. They
creates a little bit
fucking
of
known.
wisdom if you pay attention. And so the point I'm making is,
They did this to
think
cut
it's
his
important
ass fucking loose right here,
that
right now.
if
They're going to try to
if
replace him.
if the
This is the greatest
neurologist
show,
tells me
ladies and gentlemen.
he
This
thinks
is the
I need another
greatest
exam,
show.
by the way,
To save
I've laid
democracy, we're
every
just
bit of
going
the
to
record
do
out.
everything that's not democratic.
What is that called when you go against the
You ought to
United
ask Trump
States
for his,
president?
okay? I laid it all
Treason?
out.
Well, no. I mean,
What is it-
single day.
what is
that
it
would
called
be
when
They're
the
good docs.
what
that
is it
would be
called when-
waging
they think
war
there's a
against the
problem.
people
I promise
or
What is it-
giving aid and comfort
Rita,
to
they
the
don't
enemies
think
of the
it's a
people.
problem. They
But
think
yeah,
I should have a
I
I
neurological
mean,
what
our
is it-
government is
exam
our
again.
enemy now.
I'll do it.
What is it when
No one
when
suggested that to me now. And I'll ask you another question.
a coup?
No matter
They're
what I
staging a
did,
coup against
no
the
one's gonna be
president of the United
satisfied.
States.
Did you have 7 docs?
Just
Yeah,
like
two.
Nancy Pelosi did on
What'd you
January
have?
7th.
Did you do this? How many times did? So I am not opposed. If my doctors tell me I should have another neurological exam, I'll do it. But that's where I am. Haley Bull, Scripps.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said you're making decisions on a day-to-day basis when it comes to support for Ukraine.
He's gonna
Does
get that
mean
dust
you
stare
have not
going on if he
closed
can't pick
the
this up.
door on further considering
be
lifting
done.
restrictions
Once he gets
for
whoa,
U.S.-made
Look at the hand, look
weapons
at the hand.
inside Russia? And
what happened? What happened?
if they have second
Okay.
thoughts, are they free to vote their conscience?
Obviously, they're free to do whatever they want, but I got overwhelming support. Overwhelming support. I won, I forget how many votes I won in the primary. Overwhelming. And so tomorrow, if all of a sudden I show up at the convention, everybody says
Because
we want
you rigged
somebody
it.
else. That's
You rigged it against Bernie Sanders because he was whipping that ass, son.
Even if that means they vote for someone else?
Sure. Look,
You picked the most unpopular
this with
fucking
this.
person to be your vice president. She didn't get a
I
single
served in
fucking
the Senate
delegate.
a long time. I understand the impetus of candidates running for local office and whether they think the topic can help them or not.
The top of
In
the
my
thing?
state of Delaware, which was a very, at least it was a red state when I started. In
No,
terms of where you now talk red and blue.
no.
I don't recall most of the Democratic presidents winning
Look at
my
his
state.
eyes. Those are
as a
fucking
candidate.
dead eyes, dude.
The truth
He's
of the
got
matter is
shark
they understand
eyes.
the self-interest
He's got
of each
doll's
person.
eyes.
If they think that, running with Biden at the top is going to hurt them, then they're going to run away. I get it. But so far, go and look at the polling data in their states. Look at the in-depth, and by the way, I think you'd all acknowledge, and you're all experts. I'm not being solicitous about the president. You're experts on this stuff. How accurate does anybody think the polls are these days?
Oh, now all of a
I
sudden?
can give you a series of polls.
Dude,
where
it
you
says right
have
here, according to search
likely
results, the
voters,
last time Delaware voted
me versus
Republican for
Trump, where I
president
win
was in
all the time.
1988. He was already in the fucking
the
Senate at
unlikely
that point in
voters
time.
vote, he wins sometimes.
Or he was, yeah.
The bottom
He
line
was
is
a senator
all the
at that
polling
point,
data
wasn't he?
right now,
Yeah.
which I think is premature because the campaign really hasn't even started. I mean, it hadn't started in earnest yet. Most of the time, it doesn't start till after September, after Labor Day. So a lot can happen. But I think I'm the best I believe I'm the best qualified to govern.
Joe Biden was
And I
first
think I'm the
elected to
best
the U.S.
qualified to
Senate in
win.
1972.
But there are other people who could beat Trump too. But it's awful
10 years.
start from scratch.
10 years.
And, we talk about, money raised. We're not doing bad. We got about
Delaware,
$220
Rhonda, Delaware.
billion in the bank.
He took office
We're
in
doing well.
January 5th
So,
of
With that,
1973
do you have any want to follow up
as
on any
a
of that?
senator for
You just
Delaware.
asked me.
And the last time Delaware voted Republican
You
was
earlier
in
explained confidence
1988?
in your vice president.
Yes.
If your team came back and showed you data that she would fare better against former President Donald Trump, would you reconsider your decision to stay in the race?
No, unless they came back and said, there's no way you can win.
You have a 36% fucking approval rating.
No poll says that.
What the fuck?
Okay. Thanks.
This ends tonight's press conference. Thanks, everybody. This concludes.
Respectfully, earlier you misspoke in your opening answer. You referred to Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump. Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory.
Good.
That criticism from tonight.
Listen to him.
This concludes tonight's press conference. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, everyone.
Listen to him. Please fucking listen to him.
He just said listen to him.
All right, President Biden there at this press conference. Boy, there's a lot to get into. He went on for almost.
I want to go. I got to go. I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I got to do it.
All right,
Are they
we're gonna
live?
leave the cameras here, right here, while he does this. What are you doing?
I'm trying to check if CNN is live.
Let's go.
I got to see. They're not live right now. They're not live right now. I would have loved to see. Let me go on CNN.com. I need to see them and see what they say. I gotta. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. That stream has ended.
Yeah, they ended it immediately, and they're like, "Nope, we ain't doing nothing."
Where's the live, you fooks?
Let me bring back the cameras for that. But that was ridiculous, man. From the fucking gate, he's just like, "Hey, I beat my VP, and I became president of the United States." You called Kamala Trump. Out of the fucking gate. I mean, he had what? 1, maybe 2, 3 good questions? All right, put it up.
I have decided. He said that at the Wisconsin rally last Friday. That was not, my observation was he was in a bit of a different headspace tonight. He certainly said, I am keeping on. We are going to keep on moving through this. He said he is going to continue to run this race. But it was a different tone on that stuff that seemed to open the idea. He said he doesn't think he's the only one that can beat Donald Trump. He said nobody yet has presented him with evidence that he doesn't have.
I love you, Ron.
Viable winning path.
Love it.
To the
I love
presidency.
it.
Well,
I
that
love
seems to
how
make
everybody
that seems to
comes
me
here and
that he
just
was sort of
fucking puts
opening up
their
some
fucking
metrics
PJs on.
that he's willing to.
Let's
consider
go!
perhaps. This
Let's
was not
fucking
a president
go!
who was
Woo!
shutting down the notion and the
All right,
conversation,
geez.
or a president
gotta-
that's
what are we
unaware
doing?
that his party is still looking for him to grapple with this decision, and they don't consider it closed. And I think tonight we saw him in a different headspace about this.
Paul Begala, what did you see?
I saw substantive mastery. I mean, my goodness, it was a tour de force and a tour of the world. We talk a lot, of course, about NATO and Ukraine, but about China, about Israel, Gaza. He seemed to have the substance really at his command.
Why does his head look gigantic as well?
He still had the soft voice. You didn't have the kind of catastrophic failure he had at the debate, but he also didn't have the same sort of command that he had at his inaugural.
That logo looks great, by the way.
So the substance was great. The style not.
Does.
He is already getting static for slipping and saying Vice President Trump, which, you know, anybody could do that, Tucker. You know, you just get a name wrong.
Thanks, James Carville. So, Ashley, what did you make of the news conference?
You know, I think David's a bit of a Debbie Downer so far. What I've heard is like a little Debbie Downer. I thought the president was incredibly strong. He was very forceful, deep on the substance in terms of foreign policy and domestic policy. I think he definitely bought himself some more time tonight. But I'm not sure that the bleeding will stop. What I'm hearing from members on the Hill is that there's deep frustration with how the president and his team have handled this situation. You know, I maintain that it was a mistake for the president not to go up to the caucus meeting this week, or not at the very least a call into the caucus. This is a family matter. He should have addressed it in that way. But today's performance was incredibly strong. It bolsters his point that he had a bad debate night. We've now seen him in a press conference and interview and at rallies, and he seems a bit incredible.
Like muters him. He has a fucking point.
Hold on, sorry. I forgot to take off the. Well, they have a problem. If they evoke the 25th, and the House of Reps has a say in who the replacement will be. Fuck no. Sorry, that was loud. Not at all. No.
As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna cut your mic a little bit because that hurt my fucking ears.
Sorry, but no, absolutely not.
That motherfucker sold us out immediately. They just he was all about it. Just said, let's just fucking go, and then took him in the back room, and I'm just gonna follow your lead now.
Yeah,
fuck that.
Yeah, didn't hold.
We showed
Garland
that video of Biden literally saying, when he was asked, hey, what do you got to say to the new Speaker of the House? And he just turned and gave that little smile and said, that's above my pay grade. You remember that shit? There was another video where he literally said something really fucking cryptic about the Speaker of the House right before they took him in that fucking that little skiff back there. And then he came back just following along, just like a fucking dog. They got to his ass immediately.
Yeah, they did. They got to him. He's giving away our money. They didn't fucking other motherfucker. Snooch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Snooch. Smoking weed, doing coke, drinking beers,
and we're banned.
Fuck them.
I know, right? I remember when he called Ducey a son of a bitch. Yeah, he called him a stupid son of a bitch.
Yeah, but so today they're not holding AG Garland. Mike Johnson was sitting there, shaking fucking Zelensky's hands, giving away our money. So no, fuck Mike Johnson. Dude, I'm so fucking
I'm gonna say this
angry about the whole AG Garland thing, because they put Flynn in jail. They put fucking what's his face? Now Bannon's in jail. But they won't hold
Steve Baker in jail.
But they won't hold the Attorney General to hold his feet to the fire. That's nonsense, dude. They're above the law. They're above the law. Carlin said it. They're in a club and we're not invited. And it's fucking bullshit, dude. It's
I
bullshit.
mean, you are 100% correct with that. And look, you're literally telling me that everybody, every single citizen must be held accountable to the law.
Trump's not above the law.
Except for the Attorney General of the United States of America, who is the highest general for law enforcement in this country. He is above the law. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. You don't think that motherfucker would be coming for you? Look at everything that's fucking happened. Especially with January 6th. And we all know what happened with January 6th now. Absolutely fucking not.
Dude, they are on a different playing field because they work for the United States government. They're on a different playing field. And we have no we quote unquote have no chance. Yeah, we allowed this.
Supposedly put him there.
We allow this. We allow this. It's
that's your president of the United States. We all called that shit out from the very beginning. Every single one of us, every one of you in the chat that I've known for a while, we all called this out from the very beginning. We saw it from Jump Street. We've proven a lot of the January 6th bullshit. We've proven that there was fucking agents in the crowds with motions of mistrial and shit like that, which I did bounce off of Rob because actually Rob was the one that actually taught me how to find the court documents. Just watching him, I learned how to find that shit because I didn't know before. But yeah, I mean, dude, there's so much hidden in the background of court systems and shit like that it's just... Listening to the story of that, you remember that curious case of Natalia Grace, right?
Oh yeah, we did an episode on. We did a couple episodes of her on Weekend Hangover on Sundays.
Right, and then I binge watched that, and I joined you for the last one, and
the second season. Yeah,
this girl was a midget that was born in Ukraine, and she was orphaned. Okay, at 8 years old, this couple got her, and because she had a full bush. At 8 years old, they thought she was older.
Oh, so they say she had a full bush.
So they say. They legally age this 8-year-old child to 22 because at 22 they are financially responsible for themselves.
No, they're not. Yeah, they are no longer financially responsible for a child at the age of 22. So they made her 22 years old.
Paid for 3 months for her first fucking apartment, gave her a little bit of food every once in a while, and fucking dipped.
And then when her father came over to bring her groceries and noticed that she had donuts that the father didn't buy her, the father was like, "So who is here? What do you have here? Are you allowing people into this apartment?" It's the wild. If you have not watched any of the Curious Case of Natalia Grace, it is the craziest thing, well, one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And these people, the doctors were friends with the family. The mother had an autistic child who was a genius, and she was trying to basically buy another genius so she can put out more books about how she raised genius kids. And when it turned out,
the story is so fucked.
And when it turned out that they bought a dud, which they stole from another family, a family of. By the way, she's a little person. Let's add that to the mix. She's a little person. She was born a dwarf. Okay, she was born a dwarf. Another dwarf family who had a dwarf daughter. And the two girls got along very well. That family came in and stole her from them by making up things about the dwarf family so they could get her because they thought she was another genius child. It is the wildest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And then when they realized that she wasn't a genius, that she was just some 8-year-old girl, They decided to make up stories about her.
Karen, what's going on? How you
What
doing?
up, Karen? I am. Hi, Don,
No.
too. Hi, everybody in the chat. What
It's
is up?
not even that. Like, even her story, like that, the things that make her look bad that are in this are just like, you go along with it and you're like, is she this 22-year-old, 23-year-old, roughly around her mid-20s? Is she playing this off? And then they fly over to fucking Ukraine, find her birth mother and her birth certificate, prove that the child is 8 years old, and they cannot bring it up in a child abandonment case. They could not bring it up because legally they were able to change this girl's age from 8 to 22 so they could not be financially responsible for a child. What the fuck?
It is the craziest thing. And then they're like, season 2. And I went, season 2? What?
And then it just took off and got wild because she gets picked up by this family. The whole season's about how this family loves her, and they're just like shitting all over the other family. And at the very end, the cliffhanger. I'm not spoiling it, but you have to watch it. I'm
Yeah, by the way,
for season 3.
And then the family that adopts her, the last family that adopts her is this black Bible thumping dude who, like, everything is about God. They pray about everything. They want to pray about everything and talk about it. And then all of a sudden it turns into, yeah, we haven't talked to Natalia in a while. And it's just like, whoa. What the fuck?
No. Don. It's interesting.
Don.
Like, it is produced fucking well. It's interesting. And you can even zone out for a little bit and you come back to it and you're like, what the
You zone out and you go, wait, what I miss? Hold on, I missed something?
It's literally like that, yeah.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It captivates you. It really is. You talking about Johnson? The father? I think that's what his name was.
No, were you talking about Johnson, Mike Johnson? No, the father's name. I forget the father's name, but that's not it. No. We've been talking about another thing, going off into like how she was a actual child in a child abandonment case, and they couldn't bring evidence of her being a child in a child abandonment case because they were legally able to change her age. So they had to try him for a child abandonment case for a 22-year-old woman.
I don't know. Oh man,
it's like the Gretchen Whitmer situation, which we do have a little bit on that. It's like we might as well actually.
Well, I want to play the highlights from this because we were watching Rob's feed and it was so for all of you that didn't hear it, this is what he said about Vice President Trump.
President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket.
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket.
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
Is that like when he said he was the first black woman vice president?
He was the first vice president. He was the first black woman. And he served with a black man as a black woman vice president. Dude, this is the greatest show.
This is the greatest show. And
I just can't take it anymore, dude. This is like, why? How did we get here as a society?
Because somebody decided that in the government decided idiocracy was a great fucking, a great stepping stone to, hey, I got an idea. Let's make this reality. This is
we
where
got this guy not sure.
This is where he says he has to listen to his commander-in-chief.
I'm following the advice of my commander-in-chief, the chief of staff of the military, as well as the Secretary of Defense and our intelligence people.
They're not very intelligent, Joe. They're not very intelligent.
Look, this does beg the question. After everything we've seen, maybe it is the top people in all these branches that are running what's going on, and there's literally no cohesive thought between anything that's happening within our government. Like, no other agency is agreeing with any other agency because they're literally fighting for fucking power at this point. Whatever the fuck you can get in front of this demented piece of shit will be signed into executive fucking order, just like the right to vote, because good Lord, we put you in here, you might as well make it fucking legal.
By the way, this meme, quote unquote, because there's a picture, but with a word on top of it. This was put after he called Zelensky Putin. Joe Biden said, what? And that could be used for his entire speech.
No, hold on. What the fuck? That is perfect, but that look right there is, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Tomorrow fucking morning. What the fuck?
She's not going to call him. She's not going to call him, dude.
She probably won't.
She's not going to call him.
She probably will not. You are correct. Yeah.
She is going to stay away from him for as long as possible.
Red. I need to fix my camera. Now that I can see it on here.
Stay away from him as long.
It'd be funny if they're like, no, you call on Peter Doocy or you are fired right now.
Listen. I really think, in my heart of hearts, think the universe is talking to us at all times, and people just don't listen. You remember the woman versus bear thing? You remember the woman versus bear thing?
Yeah.
We all remember that, right?
Yeah.
Teen mauled to death by a bear in front of boyfriend while hiking trip. There you go. There you go. Choose the bear. Choose the bear.
Or, ladies and gentlemen, you remember the bold lib video?
Oh my God, you found it. Oh my God. This is what I was talking about. When I saw her in the alley, this is the dance that I saw. This is the dance that I saw. Ladies and gentlemen, be prepared for greatness.
This is the actual dance that she cut up into that fucking video.
What the fuck? 9999999.
Of the author. Is there objection to the opposite amendment? The chair has none.
We can still hear it, Richard.
No, that was my soundboard for that. I got to turn it up. No, that was a dude from I think it was Texas. Like, he was drunk as shit as he was sitting there being the Speaker of the House for the Texas floor. And he's just like, hold on. Now that we have nothing going on, let me turn it up so you guys can hear it. This motherfucker actually said this.
Campbell, send that amendment. The amendment is acceptable to the author. Is there objection to the opposite amendment? The chair has none. The amendment is adopted.
This is who runs our fucking country and tells you what to fucking do, people. Jesus Christ, can we talk about something here for a second with this bitch? Maybe it's her genes.
Yeah, the ones she was born with, they're fucking genetics. They're just all wrong.
I don't know. I mean, they're high-waisted jeans. I get you. They go above her belly button. But it literally looks like you have men's jeans on just hike the fuck up into your crotch. And you can't fucking move past that right there, or you're going to rip the fuck out of them. Like, that angle's the farthest you can get. Why do these people exist?
Mental illness. We've closed mental institutions, and we allowed...
Hold on, you also found something else out about this bitch, about a bobblehead.
I don't know if I can find it. Oh, Richard, okay, hold on. Let me see if...
Just type in her name and bobblehead.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Maybe this is a big fucking grift. I'm going to be honest with you. This could be an actual fucking grift.
Man. Right, let's see. I got to go far down. It's not going to have a bobblehead.
No, pop. It was a pop thing. One of those pop things. You got
pop vinyls. Yeah, I got it. It's coming.
I wanted to say pop sockets, but those are on the back of phones.
Yeah.
I'm an old fucking man. Fuck y'all. All right, anyway.
Jesus Christ. Look at this.
What do you... Oh, my.
Jeez. Look at that fucking forehead. It's the size of a fucking microwave, bro. Holy shit.
Shit. Now I'm bringing it back.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the...
There is no way. You found it before. No.
I know.
Like, oh, God. Dude, it's bigger.
It's just...
Yes, I understand there's a difference in size because of the proportions of it. Yeah, I get you, the distance. Yeah. Jesus fucking... Dude. You're looking like Ayanna Presley at this fucking point. I mean, she's the DEI Richard Mole in our fucking government.
Is that Bull from Night Court?
Yes.
I just want everybody to understand that joke because it's a great fucking joke.
I mean, I can bring it up. Dude, we got somebody that looks like a very young PB Herman. His name is Mr. Magaziner.
God.
It's fucking weird, dude. And then there's Shovelface. We might as well jump into that. Because, headline story, I know we've gone a while here. We're about to actually cut to Rumble. I'm just going to go ahead and bring up the fucking headline story when we come to Rumble. Representative Shovelface. Black woman makes 69 cents for every dollar paid to white women. This is unacceptable. Black women deserve equal pay for equal work. It's time for Congress to pass the Paycheck Fairness Act to strengthen protections against pay discrimination and close the wage gap. Now, hold on. This is going to be great, ladies and gentlemen, because they can't even get their fucking figures right. You got roughly around 4 minutes because we will be loading this intro now. Ladies and gentlemen, the mainstream narrative has become cancerous to society. Currently, there is no known cure, but doses of other treatments have shown some promising results. Off-label use has been authorized.